Hi everyone. A little greasy. Welcome back. Now, I just came back from a very special event, and I knew that I would get something valuable from it. Not because I was rubbing shoulders with high statured people and uh, their bank accounts were overflowing with abundance and prosperity and things like that, but the drive, the ambition, the energy of the room was lifted lifted with a certain speaker. And she hit on a couple of points that really rang true for me. And I noticed this in all of my endeavors where familial support is the last place that you'll find in some families. Familial support is one of the last places you'll find that raise or that push up in your endeavors. They know too many of your flaws. They know too many of your shortcomings. They have seen you in auspicious and questionable times, and they start to downplay what your worth is in accordance to that. A lot of times you get false starts in things, and when you notice that the support isn't there, you lose steam. No matter how enthusiastic or how great the opportunity may be, it's a lot of times the people you are naturally surrounding yourself with, friends, lifelong friends, even partners, family members, parents, siblings, cousins, grandparents, their eye is only at a certain level. They cannot see what you see. They do not share the same vision. They do not share the same mindset. They do not share the same end goals as you do. Your values and your morals may be developed from your upbringing, but over time you develop your own sense of where you're going, who you are. Still finding that, especially if you're in your early 20s, and some people even further beyond that, they have midlife crises and all kinds of reevaluations of what they hold as valuable. Now, with my past, my upbringing, there was no praise for good grades or doing well, 4.0, National Honor Society. There was no support there. And not to say that my family didn't love me. They showed their love in a different way. And more often than not, the disapproval was more prominent than the praise. And this could be from how we were raised, where we had a quiet matriarch and backseat patriarchs. The disapproving looks or the silence after a statement spoke volumes. And being as empathic as I am, I would take on that energy and it masked itself as my own. The doubt, the disapproval, the questioning, the opposition, the energy of opposition. As soon as you present what it is you're presenting, if the right motivation seemingly were to be given, how much of a difference it would make. I have the support and the backing of a strong support system. Nowadays, there is no system to the support other than self. You have, like I mentioned before, you have some families that are all down for unity and seeing everyone succeed. And when you grow up in certain environments or certain conditioning and certain backgrounds, that isn't as evident, especially if your parents or the people who raised you did not get that same support from their parents, their guardians. So take a step back and understand that that approval, that push forward, it may not come. It may not come. It rarely ever does come from where you expect it to come from. It's just, it showed me so much when that lady was up there speaking. She's from a different culture where the strength of family is far more dense. Not dense in a sense of weighing you down, but sturdy, stable, something to rely on. And that was beautiful to me. Knowing who your family is, it doesn't always include the members you were born with, but it also doesn't always require you to have anyone else. I think one of the greatest moments of the passing year was when someone that I love and trust and held in high regard openly disrespected me, said something that cut so deep. I was able to see another trigger. The trigger that I feel has kept everything so small. And sometimes that's what it takes. Someone that you think and know loves you unconditionally will find a condition that you know, I wouldn't say is weakness, because there's nothing weak about it. It's just it's not exercised or as prominent as your other skills. Yeah? Well, take your trigger. Take your trigger back. You have to know your pistol. For all my gun holders, you have to know your trigger better than anyone else. You have to know where your safety is. You have to know how to unload that clip without firing. Because you can go off. You can react. It's volatile. That chain reaction that a bullet goes through. It's so instantaneous. And the results can be detrimental. They can be life-changing. They can cause irreparable damage. You know. It's been such a journey to come on here. I've erased nearly all of my content for the simple fact that who I was, even though you could see my evolution through my videos, it is not a current representation of who I am. Yes, you can see my progress, but hey, that's fine too. For those who know me personally, I get better with time. I'm fine like mother wine. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? So when I come on here and I do what I do, it's because I'm compelled to. I don't have to. I do this in my everyday life. But there's a certain amount of people and a certain reach that I don't acquire in my everyday life. I'm not on a news network. I'm not on other social media platforms going live and doing things. I come here. This is where I am for the moment. Okay? There are thousands of readers you can go to if you want to know about your love life every week, every month. Who teaches you how to start trusting your own self? Who teaches you how to heal yourself? Who is going to teach you if you're not teaching yourself, or have someone that you are being mentored by, or has a vast amount of knowledge you can take from, learn from, and give to others with? Who is going to help you develop your own? That's who I am. I have a particular friend, and I don't call everyone my friend. It's very rare. And we were in each other's vicinity, and I wanted to know that person. But it wasn't something that could be forced. It had to happen naturally, because I understood energetically that things by force with this person would never fly. You don't push this type of person around. By no means. She is her own person, and she is very good at being her own person. Understand? Beautiful woman, beautiful spirit. And I had the pleasure of learning from her and working shoulder to shoulder with her for over a year. And it was, to this day, the impact that she made on me. Later, when we discussed it, just in our meeting and how things came about, I found out how she felt about me. And it was in a high regard. And it was mutual. And in my mind, I had seen her for weeks. We spoke. One day she asked me for something, and it was kind of unusual given where we were. But I had it. And I was like, wow, who would have thought I had something she needed that was uncanny for the environment we were in? And it was a damn nail file, okay? And in that moment, it clicked for me. She was my friend. Kind of odd. And that's the, I try to think back to childhood friends and how we became friends, what really transpired. Some I cannot even remember. I just know that next thing you know, we're glued at the hip. This woman, I don't know. She's a very special friend of mine, and we don't keep in contact constantly, but when we pick up, it's right back at it. She's developing so quickly in her own right. She's the type of woman I speak of for the simple fact that she got one reading. With that, she didn't need another. She had such high discernment and resolve and solutioning within her that that's all it took. And this very person even brought me clients. And it was astounding. Just, it's not necessary. And I know people are running businesses and people need help. And some people need more assistance than others to get where they're going. I get it. I get it. And that's not to deter anyone from purchasing or shopping or gaining more information from the light workers that they work with. But understand when you are being fed, sustenance, that gives you energy, that gives you encouragement, that helps you find your power. And when you're being given something that is temporarily stimulating, that you'll need another dose of. In this community, we have so much codependence on these cards, on these gifts, and I truly find value when a person finds their value in what is being delivered to them, the service that's being provided to them. I serve my purpose well, and it serves me even better. And that is my mantra for 2019. So I can give you a reading every single week, and I can tell you that this crush is coming in, and I can tell you that somebody from the past is coming in, and I can tell you that you're still healing. But when will you have healed? When will you have overcome that lesson so that this person does not return if they're not supposed to be a part of your life? When will you have your own discernment to start sensing when these things are cropping up? You have lived every single card in this tarot deck. Every single card carries its own vibration. And you know the feeling when you feel them. When you see them, a certain feeling pops up. Reading cards is more than an instruction manual. If you do not know thyself, the cards mean nothing. They mean nothing at all. And some readers are so very well versed in their own energy that they can feel and see more than meets the eye. And those are the readers that I admire, that I see as serving their purpose. Now, a lot of people are jumping on. They're getting cards, they're jumping online, they're making money, they have their gimmicks, their, what sets them apart from others, great lighting, great cameras, costumes and masks and hairdos, and that's fine. That's fine. But I'm not here for your entertainment. I'm not in the category with everyone else in that regard. I'm very organic. And yes, you see, I have on lip gloss and I have on eyeshadow, but you've also seen me fresh out of bed, teeth brushed and a hood on, to tell you what the fuck it is going on. I'm not an astrologer. I cannot break down how the transits affect you on a personal level because I'm keeping track of how it affects me. And that's what matters to me. I'm not the one, but I can direct you to others who have better help. Now, there are so many different classifications and specifications in this light worker community. Those who are great creating cards, decks. Those who are very well informed about crystals, their abilities. Those who are definitely gifted at creating affirmations, isochronic and binaural beats. You have people who have different styles of telling. They have they do the teacups. They do the coffee cup readings. You have people who are in the runes, who do Lenormand, who do tarot, who do oracle. There's so many different divination styles. Sidereal astrology, Vedic. You have people who are past life specified, and hypnotherapy, and there is just so much, and there's commonality in the goal. Yet, this community is no different than Facebook or Instagram popularity contests. True enough. I mean, hey, if it's the visual that gets the message across, that stimulates some people. What meets the eye, what they see, or what they hear, their senses, So I witness readers who do not show their face, do not show their hands, do not show cards. They have less subscribers. Now, it's all unique. Everyone has their purpose. Everyone has their angle. Some do, some don't. All I know is the people I'm intended to help and intended to meet, I do. I don't want a surplus. I don't want to help people who are so dependent on what I provide that they cannot think for themselves. That every question they have for me is followed by, can you pull a card? I cut off clients who are showing codependent behavior on things that they're misusing, abusing. They're mistreating my gift. And I can say, well, with the intention I give it, once I give it, what they do with it is their own. But as a responsible light worker in this community, I need to be able to tell the difference. Because a lot of their codependency that they've gravitated with towards the cards, it's in their very own lives, with their relationship partner, obsessing over love, obsessing over finances, obsessing the habits. It's muscle memory, it's nervous tics, anxiety, depression, like what is holding you down. And it's the mentality of depending on something because you feel that you don't have it yourself. And while everybody has their own specific talents, they have their own senses, they have their own energy, they have their own access, no one is coming forth and saying, well, I won't say no one, but I'll say not as many are coming forth to say, this is how you can develop what you have for your greater good. No one, well, I keep saying no one, but not many. And just knowing the conversations I had leading up to the new year, my new year that started already. I had already felt my shift, my personal shift, well into, it's been almost a month. I was feeling my own redirection. So when the new year came, I was already spearheaded towards my direction. The conversations leading up to the new year were so enlightening. They were mentally and spiritually stimulating. And the only aspect that was missing was the physical stimulation. And this is what brought me back to relationship partners and knowing that after all these years of dating or seeing other people date, there has always been that merchant triangle. You get it fast, you get good quality, or you get it for cheap. And usually you get 2 out of the 3. Low cost or efficient cost, quality work, timely manner, you know? And it's like, to me, my trinity is body, mind, spirit. If you're not stimulating my mind, my body, and my spirit, I can't tolerate it. Because I feel what's missing. That has been my specification since I was a kid. What's missing? Puzzles I've worked on, logic problems. It's not what's being said, it's what's not being said. Or it's not what's being felt. What are you not feeling? It's not what you see, it's what you're not seeing. Those are the things that intrigue me most. So even I see a lot of women, they may watch, not women, just people in general, may watch Law and Order, Criminal Minds, NCIS, or Snapped, or whatever show, these mysteries. I've always been a, Nancy Drew, Stephen King, Dean Koontz lover. Even in my older years, loving Perry Mason and Murder, She Wrote, and things like that, that you had to find what's missing. There was always something missing, and that was my angle. What's missing? You can provide me with what you want to provide me, but there's something else. There's another layer, and that's where I come in. That's where my empathy comes in. That's where my gifts and skills come in. My extrasensory perception comes in. And this is why I can do what I do. Even with my placements in my own natal chart, there's a lot of objectivity in certain places where they are vital. I have a well-balanced array of all of the different elements. I'm not all air, I'm not all fire, I'm not all earth, and I'm not all water, but I have a culmination of those. And that's where my research started. Once I really was thrown into silence by outside circumstances, I was thrown into silence, and I broke down. Because then all of my elements and I saw how out of control all of me, all the different parts of me were. And I was able to better isolate mine from others and start to read and feel and sense and know and hear and see with different eyes, different ears, a different sense of touch. And that's how I was able to develop my own. And we're in an environment where that's not so simple. We have work, children, constant stimulation from social media and YouTube, just every day, all day. My clients, from here on out, you need to know that you have to put in the fucking work. You can't just sit back and expect me to give you all the solutions, because as soon as you find yourself in a problem, the solution is already there as well. You have to get yourself out of the problem in order to see it. It's a matter of perception. But how can you, in the middle of the problem, find the solution? You come to someone who can see further, and you find your way to the solution. And you have someone to guide you, because they are in your shoes in that moment. They can see the finish line, and they can see where you are in this maze of things. And they help you learn how to navigate. That's why I'm here. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't let these cards fool you. Don't let these put-ons and perceptions and fronts fool you. There's something in you that leads you to who you're following or getting guided from. And you have to think, why is every single reading about a third-party situation? And every single reading, I'm going to check my sun, moon, rising, Venus, Chiron. Let me check. Where's my Jupiter? Let me check that one too. Now let me check Vedic. Because you're searching for what you want to hear. You're not searching for what is going to get you out of that shit. Plain and simple. You don't hear something that you like, it's conflicting. Dislike the video, right? But that emotion, that conflict, is because your heart and your mind are in disagreement. You feel it in your soul and you disagree with your mind. I don't want to be that way. That's not me. I'm different. He's coming back. He's going to leave his wife. What have you? And then you're stuck, being codependent. Your devil card that pops up in that reading may not even be your relationship. It could be you. So understand that you can be fed constantly the bullshit that'll keep you coming back every single week, or you can learn how to change your fucking life. Somebody who really gives a fuck. I serve my purpose well, and it serves me even better. It's for a certain few. Not everyone wants to change. People are so afraid of change. I love the death card, the tower. Bring me that shit. I want to see the Ten of Swords. Because it means it's about to shake some shit up. And that's exactly what we need. Too much of the same. And that never got us anywhere. So, you want to know what's the matter? The matter today, after all that, is the Three of Wands. That message you're waiting to hear, that correspondence, you've put in the work. Have you? Maybe this doesn't resonate with you either. Then save it for who does. Pass the message along to someone it does resonate with. These other paths, these other wands, they're not where it's at. You tried it a myriad of ways, and it was dead ends, loose ends, got you nowhere fast. And now there's one option left. You cast your net, and now you're waiting for that return. You're waiting for that correspondence. You're expectant of it. Because you know the work that you've put in. You know what you've sent out into the universe. You know what type of action you've put forth. And your spirit is waiting on it. It's only a matter of time. And time is man-made. Put the energy in. Put the work in. That's it. You make that decision. And you walk in that direction. And the rest follows. Stop letting this get in the way of that. If they're not working in unison, mind, body, and spirit, you don't have your triad. You don't have your three. We're in a 3-year. Yeah. We're in a vibrational year of 3. And that's your networking. That's your expansion. That is things outside of yourself. No more isolation. No more staying small. No more of that. Last year was about you getting to know you. Your intuition. Your voice from the others outside of you. Getting to know yourself on a personal basis. To combine your masculine and feminine polarities. Too extreme negative, too extreme positive, your battery doesn't work. Get that shit in alignment. You have the wisdom and you have the balance. Even the Temperance card has the sun on its forehead and the triangle of the sun on the heart. They're in unison, though they're two different elements, though they're two different modes of knowing. One conscious, one subconscious. It's all about the shift.